So why is it that we think these guys are crazy and we are saying it? And yet they are performing better than us. So somewhere, somehow, we need to wake up to that reality and embrace it and say, you know what? These guys know something. They are doing something the right way. It's working. Why don't we make it work for us as well?
Hello, friends. I'm Sylvain, and welcome to the Narrative Podcast, where we get to hang out with Africa's sports celebrities and personalities. This podcast is not just about giving these individuals their flowers, but it's also giving them a platform to talk about their game, their culture, and their challenges. We talk about anything and everything sports, but most of all, we have a good time. Now, Trailblazers Volleyball Club men's team here in Kenya is setting the tone when it comes to running a sports team as a business. At the helm of that back office is its founder, Richard Joseph, and he joins us here today. Richard, welcome to the Narrative Podcast. It's lovely to have you here.
Hi, thank you, Sylvain. It's a pleasure to be with you guys here.
Yeah.
And welcome to our little humble home. And I hope we're going to have a fun time together.
We are going to have a fun time. Now, Richard, he could have chosen any African country to start a volleyball club team, and he chose us here in Kenya. Why? What's special about Kenya?
I was based here, so for me it was a simple choice because at that time being here and being part of the ecosystem, having seen what's happening, it was rather a no-brainer to start it here and to start the changes, the revolution.
Now, you don't talk much about yourself. I actually went on Google to try and look it up. Zero information. I didn't find anything. But we do know that you're from the Caribbean. We do know there's some here to send out. What many people might not know is that you were a professional volleyball club player yourself. What was that experience like? Take us back to little Richard and how he grew up to fall in love with volleyball.
No, I started quite young actually, at 12 or 11, I can't recall, but I was just clowning on the court and the coach says, "You on my court tomorrow." That's it. And that's where it started. So from there, I started playing third division. By the time I was 16 and a half, I was playing in the Premier League back home already. So 16 and a half, 17, I was playing with the big boys. So that's where it started. And but I played for not for long because in our countries and the same thing here, a lot of people will leave to go and do other businesses and stuff.
Yeah.
So I did stop playing quite early as 2005 actually. So to go and take care.
Yeah. All right. Now, hear that behind us. They have a very unique story because you say that it's a team that's built from quote-unquote reject players. Now, I want you to elaborate on that. Explain it to us a little bit more. What do you mean by that?
Okay, on that one, in 2021, between May and June, more or less a bit of early July, I ran a program out of pocket for some players that I worked for working with. I was guiding and kind of mentoring. And I realized that what's missing is a full system behind them. So I rallied Jeff Oni, considered conditioning expert, Coach Omondi, now our head coach, myself and a few other people, Chizamu Dengani, a specialist in mobility and flexibility. So we put all these people together behind this play. So although at the end of the season, these players were let go by their respective clubs for not being good enough, they say you're free to go. Hopefully we'll do better with another club because in our quest to get into the playoffs in South Leicester, so for me there I'm like, that's a waste. He said, it's a waste. What can I do? And I told them, okay, give me a few days and few weeks so I can crunch some numbers and see what it entails to really have a club, what are the rules, what are the requirements and stuff. So are we going to make it work? Are we going to make it happen? And from there, that's where it started. And then we built the club around these players. And one of them that was the first to be rejected, Sialo, you've seen him with the yellow band playing in Erbil. So now he's playing in Erbil in Iraq.
Yeah.
So he's playing the pro team. Now, funny enough, he went there and he plays so well that it took Melbourne for the first time in their entire existence, which is a long existence as a club. It's a club that exists since the early 1900s. So they took him to the last four.
Wow.
He's being MVP after MVP after MVP.
Yeah.
So that tells you the pool of talent you have that we're being untapped for. Because we don't do proper sports management and sports science. We are just letting them go to rot. This is the problem.
I mean, it's really a testament to your program and what you've been able to achieve here. So I have to keep your flowers right there. But my second batch of flowers is the fact that you corrected me because I'd asked you, when the team was founded. I thought it was 2 years ago, but you told me November.
Yes, November 2021.
So 2021, and now you guys have already qualified for the Afro Club Championship game, taking place in Tunisia in a few months in May.
In May.
How are the preparations going? You guys have to be very excited about that. And what are your expectations? Going to that level already so early.
The expectation going to that level, we know already in the competition. You have Al-Ali that won it several times. It's actually the one that won it the most. You have Zamalek, you have from I don't know where they are, don't recall where they are from. There's Esperance of Tunisia, which did the final against Al-Ali last season and they lost to Al-Ali. And you have the team from Cameroon, PAD, and the Armed Forces of Cameroon also. You have the PR of Wanda, you will have the champions in here, GSU. KPA will finish second last year as well.
So it's gonna be 3 teams from Kenya actually going.
Yes, 3 teams from Kenya. And so it's going to be a very tough competition. And as you can see, we are preparing, we are giving it all. And we are using the league now, although last outing we had a very sad mixed results, a completely against expected. But we are working to fixing that. But now the main challenge and what we are expecting is to see how we can smoothen the road to get to Tunisia, because of course the financial requirement is quite massive, and that's what we are trying to find a way to overcome right now.
Yeah, I mean, say you were pitching to a sponsor. Whenever you talk to a company, they always ask, what is your value proposition? What is the return on investment for them? So what is the return on investment in terms of sponsorship to go to the African Championship?
Okay. Allow me to start with what we are doing already here, and then we can scale it up and blow it up, right? Now, already for what we are doing here, when we did the unveiling last month, with 2 of the videos we have just on Instagram alone, they have 500,000 views. So if a sponsor has their logos somewhere on anything we're doing, that's 500,000 eyeballs just on Instagram. Right. Then remember also all the TV stations were flashing and talking about that event, which is one of a kind. So that's again a measurable amount of views I don't have, which is massive. And this was on NTV, KBC, KTN, all of it. Now, when you scale that to the continental level, and it goes beyond the continental level because other clubs, like from other regions, are sending scouts to these competitions. And these videos are again going to be relayed to these countries. So this is again a massive amount of eyeballs that we are able to attract to the sponsor's logo, the potential sponsor's logo, and discover their brands or reacquainting themselves with the brand.
Yeah.
We see, and considering also that we do live streaming, and that's an opportunity where we can push brands for our sponsors, so that also gives them the opportunity without any organically on a live stream. We have on average 2,000, 3,000. Some games are watched by 4,000 people.
Oh.
So these are the views we are talking about. These are the numbers we are talking about.
Yeah. So. And you've talked about your media production. I think it's so impressive that your sports team, yes, realized that there was an opportunity for broadcast. So tell us a bit about your media production team, what you guys do at volleyball games, and what your vision is to kind of that.
Okay, the essence of what we do is not only the media team, as you say, it's because also one of the reasons behind the club's existence is the fact that on our continent, we do not emphasize enough on the specialist skills around sports.
Yeah.
If you talk about any club here in Kenya, there are 2 things they will tell you: the coach, the players,
and
Sweden. Whereas us, we are talking about the team doctor, we are talking about the physiotherapist, the nutritionist, the team psychologist. They have their sessions every Tuesday, the team, or team dynamics and team building. We're talking about the media team, which is here every day with the team. And everywhere the team goes, they accompany the team, so we can do live streaming. We could also snippets from our training sessions, and even with the Zumba sessions, we also do snippets and put it on YouTube on all of our social media platforms. So these are the things that we do as a team: statistical analysis, video review. So, for instance, we have required projectors and projection screens because we realize the importance of audiovisual sessions. So some days we do just warm up, a bit of ball touch up, and then we sit down and maybe project skills, execution, how the best do it, what we are doing wrong. So we do a parallel of what is done by the other team, the best, and then us, how we do it, and they're like, oh Lord. You know?
Right. And it's so important to know that you, I remember even for me when I'm playing basketball, my coach is telling me, Sally, you're not doing this. And I'm like, yes, I am. Yeah. Then now we go back and we look at the video, and sure enough, I'm not doing it.
Correct.
Like, it's so different actually watching video of what is happening in the game. And I feel like it really helps you understand what you can.
Yeah. So that's what we do as well, because we also have apps that we put the data in that tells us, for instance, in the game, which was the setters distribution and where we attacked the most. And although we were attacking that side, did we even score by trying that? What is our ratio of conversion? So there are a lot of data that someone say what you do to prepare that team. Yes, the players, because they come from the empirical way of doing things. So what we call the Joakali.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now getting them to move with a scientific way, it's a bit of a struggle, because there is first the aspect of, is this thing gonna help me?
Right.
Really? Why is it not? Why are the other teams not doing it and they are still performing?
Right.
You know, so there are all these questions that come to your player's mind. And now what we are doing is the first thing to get the player acquainted to it, and then accepting it. You know, so once that is done, we feel that it will be very, very reconcilable.
Yeah. And I think I'm so glad that you've mentioned some of the attributes of the team. You've talked about people, strength and conditioning coach, mobility train. You've talked about a counselor available to talk to the players, you know, dealing with mental health and everything. I think that's really when now you talk about sports teams as an organization.
Yes.
Opposed to, as you said, you have the team and you have your coach and you have your doctor, who's a general doctor.
Yeah.
It's not a physiotherapy.
Yeah.
So if you have something that requires physiotherapy, he doesn't know what to do.
That's it.
And I think what I've always loved about Trailblazers, and also why at Alimani we wanted to represent this team, is because of the professionalism of the team and your perspective on not just seeing it as or rather not just focusing on the sports elements, but on the business elements.
Correct.
As well. So in her opinion, ideally should every team not just in Kenya but in Africa have those qualities in order for them to be considered a professional?
Okay, let's not even say, in my opinion, let's take a look around.
Yes. So
let's talk about facts, exactly. And I'm gonna take sports that are not volleyball and volleyball together.
Yes.
So if you go to the website of Modena Volleyball Club in Italy, or the Zenit Kazan in Russia, volleyball, you go to Barcelona Football Club, Bayern Football Club, Golden State Warriors basketball, Lakers basketball club. I'm stopping there. Fine. So now you go to this website, you will see that they have nutritionists. You can know who is a nutritionist.
Yeah. See the picture there, you see their title, everything.
Right?
Yeah.
Then you know who is the team doctor or the team doctors, depending on the size of the team, right? And they have the physiotherapists and everything. So why is it that we think these guys are crazy and we are saying, and yet they are performing better than us? So somewhere, somehow, we need to wake up to that reality and embrace it. And say, you know what? These guys know something. They are doing something the right way. It's working. Why don't we make it work for us as well? And that's what we did. And you know, something as simple as a kitting deal. You see, every team is kitted. They are supposed to be kitted. But you come here, if you look around, you see all the coaches and the media team, they are all wearing the same jersey as I'm wearing now. Yeah. The team has the two colors that they use Monday to Friday. The blue and red that they use Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. red and black they use Tuesday and Thursdays. That's it. So these are the schedule that is got. You see, then we went so much bigger on the kitting deal. Every player recently received a gym bag with their name and jersey number on it, with the 5 kits, with the 3 match day kits, with the tracksuit, with the warm-up kits. Who else? Who does have kits in? You see, so who gives their player gym bags together with all these? You see, with 3 pairs of socks for match days. So because we want to create that uniformity, that the player, and we also tag the player's name in the back of his jersey. The reason, we don't want the player to be fighting for the badge alone. We want them to fight for their own brand. We want them to push that. We want them to push that agenda. We are not fighting for the team only. We are fighting to take your brand. Every time you get step on course, we take that your brand to another level. Yeah. If the player does it for the brand, and for his own brand, and for the team, I'll show you we're going to succeed.
Yeah, so they have to have that understanding.
Yeah, but these are the things you don't do to elevate the girl.
Now, allow me to play devil's advocate. All these things that you just talked about, they require money. So is it an argument of the chicken and the egg, and which one comes first? In the sense that does a team have to have money first to have those structures in place, or is there a way for them right with those structures, put them in place, and then allow that to draw in the sponsors and financial support?
Okay, you can argue. We can argue from here to until the cows come home that you need to have money. It's a fact. It's quintessential. We can't do without it. However, to a certain extent, depending on how you package yourself and package the offer to the other people that are going to be involved in the project, you can do it in a way that you say, you know what, now I can afford this, I can afford that. However, I'm giving you this in return. You see, we can offer someone advertising in return. You get me? So this way, the person is not only giving you their service and then they are looking for nothing. You are giving them something in return. And I think in Africa in general, we don't do that. For instance, you go to somebody that owns a media house and you're asking for money. It's not going to work. We can ask for other things that you can translate them into money later. But as a team, you have that power, you have that flexibility. But we don't do it. So now the other teams that exist, is it that they don't have the money? Or yes, they may not have the money, but can they access that money? Yes. But the question is how they present it to their sponsors in the budget defense meeting, and then they get slashed because they can't explain why I need 4 cameras. The sponsor are like, okay, you're Windsor Football Club. Why do you need 4 cameras?
Yeah. You with one, make it work with one.
But no, I don't need 1. I need 4. 4, okay, I can explain. I need 4 statistical analysis, video review. I need to record the players. I need to do it. Then if you can explain that, and you can show how it helps other teams with the numbers, then the sponsor will think about it. He will not tell you flat out now, out. But they consider the offer. They consider what is suggested. So this is what our point of view is.
So essentially, you have to be able, regardless of with or without the money, you must have a very clear strategy.
You must be clear in what you are articulating. We must say, okay, this is where we are. This is where we want to be. And this is what we have. But with what we have, we can't reach there. We can only reach here. But this is what we will need from you and how we're going to translate it back to you to give you some value added. Value added customers or customer retention, customer returns, and publicity, whichever.
All right. I think that's very clear. I appreciate you breaking that down. Now, I know you're also a strong believer in sports science and technology.
Absolutely.
And one of the unique things that this team also does is I think once a month, you guys have a team from Intercross.
Yes.
Who comes and does some analysis. I want you to take us through what exactly that is and how that makes Trailblazers a better team.
Okay. What the Japanese team does is called Tarioku.
Tarioku.
It's Japanese for physical performance. Now, it's a very interesting set of measurements they do. They take the players' height, weight, and every time they come, they do that, right? So they also have a special scale that measures the player's bone mass, bone density, muscle mass, visceral fat, and then it gives the player a rating and what needs to be done already on the physical parts for the metabolism and stuff. Now, they also get the player to do a lot of side shuffle to assess agility, explosion, and how fit the player is, because you need to do that for a minute non-stop. You are given to do sit-ups in a minute to see how many reps you can do in a minute. You are given a box to push and stretch and see how much is how flexible you are, how far away from your body you can push that box down. You have what else? There's something they have to measure the grip. You see the grip, when you measure the grip, these muscles are not, this part is not very much involved, it's secondary.
Yeah.
The primary part is here, the forearm, all the way to your fingers. So then, that tells me what is there for the player and how strong they are. So we can also work to improve that, because on volleyball you need just grip. That grip can fit into a lot when you make contact with the ball. Now, they have the standing long jump. That one is a pure sheer power, sheer explosion. Now, once they do the ranking, they do A, B, C, D, like a report card. Now, the first one they did when we first started with them in October. No, it's not October, I think October. A lot of my players were CNB. I have like 6 of them that were CNB. Now only have 1D. From the last one they did, a lot of people we can look at the results already. A lot of them will move from B to A. We already knew that. So these are the things you are able to do. And I have 2 visitors here today that are looking at the team and they say, wow, these guys are fit. And they are former professional players from Italy and some other places. They are, wow, these guys are fit. Your fitness program works. It's good. Because they can see the stability, the movement, they see all this. So they are able to assess that the team is fit. Now, and this is what we do with the Japanese, because when it's not correct, we go and sit with the strength and conditioning team, which is Jeff Nongo, Kevin Owo, Triza Mudengani, Keta Bila, and myself. We go, we scrap everything, and okay, back to square one. What are we gonna do? This is what is the program for the next 3 months. Because with this, we are aiming at improving these results.
So basically, what it does is that you're using the technology to now make informed decisions about how to structure the training session.
Correct.
So based on, because I was actually going to ask you, what if someone has a team? Are they off the team?
No.
Does that just mean that...
to fix it. And it also helps you to see people that have underlying issues.
Right.
Because if someone also minimum with realistic that. So if you're at your age and at your fitness level, we can jump that minimum, then we are going to get you checked by the doctor.
Yeah.
You do a full screen of your knees, your ankle, MRIs and stuff to assess what's wrong with your body that you're hiding to us.
Yeah.
And this one is will expose it definitely.
Okay. Yeah. And what is generally the turnaround time between, like say, a D player, now moving them up to BA?
BA, I would say 2 months, but to move to the next level is about as much or less. Because they are actually fit is that, because with the D, we are able to put a focus on them. Because some of them, they will be hiding in training, they wouldn't do every rep. So now with the focus on them, they progress quickly. You know, so that's what it also allows us to do. We can see the people that are not doing what they are supposed to do.
And I imagine that each testing program is what do you say the Japanese word is?
Taioku. I probably am not saying it right, because it's Taioku. But anyway, it's on all our side. Yeah.
So I'm curious, or I believe rather, that the measurements differ according to the sports. Because, for instance, football player, you're focusing more on lower body strength. As basketball player, you're
volleyball as well.
Legs and arms. So the tests are a little bit different.
They're different, yes.
And they cater to
different sports. Yes. Actually, they have a similar program they run with the rugby union.
Right.
So I don't know how often they do it, but I know they have. And I think we also do with one basketball team. If I'm not wrong, I'm not sure. But yes, but some of the assessment are different.
Right.
Some, yeah, not all, because some of them are general, right? Like the long jump, you need it for a football player. You still need that takeoff. You need that sprint, right? Yeah.
You have something great going on here with your organization. What is your vision? Not just for I know you. I know your vision is not this size. Your vision is Africa. Your vision is not just Kent. Your vision is not just trailblazing. But what is that?
Okay, let's start. First of all, our vision and our strategic objectives, we are not going to stop at volleyball. Hopefully soon we will move towards other disciplines. Stay tuned. Now,
Give us some spoilers.
no.
Give us some spoilers.
No. We don't, because see, we don't want to have roadblocks already.
Yeah.
So then the other thing is that we hope, we sincerely hope that other teams will follow suit.
Right.
For instance, right now we know that in the ladies division, the girls, Kenya Pipeline, KCB, DCR, Kenya Prisons, ladies, volleyball, they have a very active social media side, a social media presence. So they are building from what they see, because we have been pushing it. You know, we have a lot of followers already on Instagram. We have about a bit less than 7,000, but over 6,800. On YouTube, we're over 3,500, and then again, we are a new team. So all these combined, on Facebook, about 4,000. So all these combined together, these are the things I would love to see other teams doing. I would love to see them working together, working to develop these aspects of the sports. Then, of course, I would love to see that on the global scale of the African continent, definitely.
Yeah.
But as we say, we lead by example. So we are not going to sit in a corner and tell people this is the way. We are showing them the way. And perhaps once we start becoming better performance, they will start to acknowledge that what we are doing, it works.
Yeah.
We know it works, but we know they doubt. So with results on court, better results on court, although we finished third last season, this is perhaps not good enough for them, that we hope to achieve better results to prove to them that these can be better. And with this kind of system, we can achieve more. We can achieve greater things.
And I think what's great is that it's not a secret. Like you're not in some secret lab hiding from the rest of the world what makes your team great. You're actually willing to share this information and to make other teams great, which is, how it is here in Africa. We're like, oh, we're not going to tell anyone what we're doing. You're not going to do what we're doing. You're not going to be as great as we are. But you're actually saying, no, this is a formula that I'm willing to share with the rest of the country, with the rest of the continent, to make the other team become great teams.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really testament to who you are and what your vision is. So really kudos and thank you so much.
Thank you, Sylvain.
Yeah.
All right.
I think there's so many points that you guys can learn from this interview. Let's stop this habit of asking the government for help. Let's privatize sports teams. Let's make them commercially viable. Let's run them into profitable business.
Absolutely.
Yes. You guys agree? Don't agree? Let us know in the comments. Myself and Richard will fight you in the comments. Or see, we're a good team, right?
Yeah,
we can take them out.
you are ready.
We can take them
Game
out.
on.
Thank you again so much,
Thank you.
Richard.
All right.
If you guys like this podcast, hit the like button. If you loved it, please subscribe so you don't miss out on the next great guest here on the Narrative Podcast. That's it from me. We'll see you guys next time.